Fantastic traders. So today I'm joined with Savell. He's in the UK, actually. He's from South Africa originally, but I'll let him to talk a little bit about that. So thank you very much for joining me today, Savell.
No, it's good to be here.
Fantastic. Do you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself, how you got into trading a little bit for everybody?
So COVID obviously hit. Our work moved to work from home, which was a blessing in disguise. So, staying at home, what I want to do, ended up trying to look for investment opportunities, things to try and better myself. I ended up stumbling upon Forex. I used to trade crypto back in the 2015 to 2017 era. Did okay with that.
Missed out on the bull run just then. So 2018, missed out just on that big run up.
So I got out like at the peak in 2017, like 19,200-ish, just before it crumbled. Actually became the deposit for my house. So that set me up pretty well. And then I kind of tried to get back into crypto, but market just didn't feel very right for me. And then COVID, back at home, and I stumbled into crypto, to Forex. How can I trade this? So I did a couple of courses, and ultimately I've become a algorithmic trader, an EA trader. And that's kind of my
fantastic
boring story.
When you were trading crypto, was that more spot or were you trading mostly futures?
Definitely futures.
Yeah. How much leverage? How much leverage were you using?
Well, I mean, at the time, there wasn't much in terms of leverage. I think like Bitfinex, if I remember, was like 5 leverage at the time.
Yeah.
So I was always trying to
Bitfinex. And then everybody Bybit were coming out with 100 leverage and buying out to 100. Started ruining people very fast.
Yeah, big time. So I've had my few margin calls here and there, but
so that's interesting. How come you didn't stick with the crypto side of trading and stick into futures trading with crypto? Instead, you went different totally and went into Forex.
So after I cashed out, bought the house, I kept trying to get back into it.
Yeah.
I couldn't find anything that just worked. And I found that it was kind of, the market moved crypto quite drastically. So everything can be pointing upwards. And I think that it's going upwards. And then tomorrow, for absolutely no reason, we drop 10% just because. So I kind of gave up on trying to read that market. Yeah.
It's a very different market as well because it trends quite a lot. Whereas Forex is quite a rangy type. It ranges a lot of the time.
Yeah.
That's why I prefer crypto to Forex, is because I like moving with the trends and moving with strength, whereas Forex is a little bit deeper. But you decided you wanted to continue with Forex, and what was the differences in Forex that you liked, and why did you decide to continue with that?
Ultimately, trying to find a algorithm that works, and I found that kind of for Forex. So that's where I've kind of hedged my bets at the moment. I would love to get back into crypto. And as you say, it does trend. So if you can get on that train, you stand to make good gains. But I get bored after like a day or two of trades, and I want out only to watch the next week continue on that movement. So
fantastic. So at the moment you're 100. You're got about 100K, just a little bit under 100K under management with us.
I have 2. I have an 80 and a 90.
Yeah. So you've got the one I'm talking about now is your PM3, which is 100K. So that's the one as well. But you have got more. I'm gonna pop this up and let everybody see a little bit about your valuation and how that went for you. Bear with me. You can see the screen, can't you? Let's have a
Yep.
look. Fantastic. So this was your evaluation, and with your EAs, are they're in control of absolutely everything, or is there a little bit of discretion with trading as well with your EAs?
No, I don't trust myself, so I end up trying to trust the bots as much as possible.
Nice.
Every now and then, if I think I know better, I may close trades early, or I might hedge one or two of the trades if I think it's going to come back into good profit.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately I try and let it do its thing.
So when you see your bot really going into drawdown, because under this line, here's your initial capital, and then obviously it went down into a little bit of drawdown, not too much.
Yeah.
But when it goes into drawdown, did you panic a little bit, or did you how did you assess what to do when the bot was actually going into drawdown?
Yeah, good question. No, I know how far down it can go.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at my current accounts, I'm down 2.5% already this month. So yeah, this month is not looking so great at the moment. But
yeah,
last month was a 7.5% month for me. So
yeah,
I kind of know roughly, they may lose a certain percentage on each trade.
Yeah.
And I always try and do it percentage-wise per trade. If I find that it is really trending, like over the last 2 weeks, I may reduce that risk. So instead of being like 0.5% risk, I might choose like 0.35% risk per trade.
Yeah.
To try and see when it starts to come back, and then increase it back to 0.5% per trade.
Yeah. Because it does. I've seen on your other accounts as well. It trades really, really well. So this was your evaluation. Obviously, let's have a look here and see why this is gone. Let's see if I can bring this back. I don't know what's going on with the dashboard at the moment, but here you could see that it was actually it went into a little bit of drawdown and then went straight up to the target. Here as well, it's a little bit choppy, but mostly you've been in profits pretty much from the day one. Obviously, you went into a little bit of drawdown and then straight up to profits as well.
Yeah.
And then this current account, this is where you're at now. So you are on minus 2K and a bit, but you're fairly confident in your bot's ability. So I want to know how you gained that confidence in the bot's ability. How did you find a bot that was good enough to use on a funded account and that could pass the challenges and pay you at the same time? How did you find that, and what was your process in finding a bot that worked?
Yeah, so I mean, I was trying to look it up just before this. So I've been with 5ers since November 2020. So, I've got an entire year and a good few months worth of back data in live accounts. It's been working, and it has been working. I have it running also in personal accounts with bigger risks and different things. So yeah, I trust it from backtests. I always do my backtests as much as possible, history shifts and all that kind of good stuff. And then run into my live accounts for maybe a couple of months just to see if it performs the same as the back tests, and then put it onto a live account, but at a risk that I can mostly handle.
Yeah. And when you're doing your back tests, that's automated back tests, or how do you go about your back tests?
Yeah, so Quant Analyzer is a good little bit of software, or the MT5 back tests and things like that.
And that's the simple stuff. And then obviously you do the forward testing as well on a small account, or do you just
so probably around $1,000, give it a little test. So I have, at the moment, I've got about 25 different terminals running with different. Yeah.
How do you how do you notice all of them? I take it you've got many screens in your house, or you were working off one screen?
I actually only have one screen, but
wow.
Yeah, I tend to just set it up and just ignore it and let it do its thing. And if it loses the grand, it loses the grand. If it makes a grand, then I can use that for another test account and so on. So.
Okay, fantastic. And is this something that I take it you don't do this full time, since it's running when you're sleeping, it's running all the time. So what do you do day to day? Is that got anything to do with trading, or is that just totally different?
Yeah, so I work for a large software company.
Okay.
Managing outages and doing project work and stuff. So that's why I wanted the bots, because I don't want it to affect my day-to-day job.
Yeah.
So I can focus on work during the day, at lunchtime, or if it's a bit of a quiet period, I'll have, MT5 on my phone and, I'll take a look at what happened last night, or, what's going on during the day. But by and large, I just let it run on its own VPS and it does its thing.
That's fantastic. See, I'm the type of trader, I like to be in front of the screen watching it all the time. Yeah. And I enjoy that part of trading. Yeah. Where a lot of people I've spoke to also, a couple of people in the Discord, that they actually, the total opposite. They don't want to be in front of the screen. They want to be either working and doing their own thing. And they don't actually, like you said, trust themselves to press the buttons, and the emotion behind it as well. Is trading, there's so much emotion and psychology behind it. And sometimes it's difficult. So that's really interesting. And I take it you're a coder as well? You know how to code?
No.
No?
No, I wish. One of the things that I always wish that I could do, create them for myself, but I don't.
Yeah, so we had a guy, Adam French, one of the good guys in our Discord. He was a coder. He coded his own EA and everything. So for people that know how to code, it's a lot easier to kind of build their own kind of strategy and stuff. When you're looking for an EA to buy an EA or to find the perfect EA, as not somebody who codes, what would you recommend to somebody that was looking for an EA that they could use passively on a funded account or their own personal account?
Yeah. So someone's at the front door. Someone's at the front door, apparently.
There you go. You got technology everywhere.
Yeah.
A bit like Iron Man in the background.
Yeah, exactly. So if I'm purchasing an EA, I always look for, it has to have a live account that's running. Mm-hmm. So I never buy an EA that doesn't have a live account attached to it. Mm-hmm. So that way I can, before I even purchase, you can see that it has been in the real world, it's been in the real market for a period of time. Mm-hmm. Then, I'll do the back test and stuff to see if it marries up with what's shown in that live test. I never, for prop firms, I will never recommend anything like Martingale or Grid or anything like that.
Yeah, blow your account straight away and then blow our money afterwards. Yeah.
I've been there, I've done that, I've tested it, I've lost my accounts on it, I've got the t-shirts. Yeah. So for now, I'll only ever look at bots that have specific stop loss and take profit levels. Takes one entry and you'll either hit take profit or stop loss. Mm-hmm. Back in the 2020 and early 2011 days, night scalping was huge. Mm-hmm. You can make really good money with just night scalping EAs. Mm-hmm. And then there was a period towards the end of 2011 where that kind of fell flat, and it almost felt like the brokers were trying to fight against that. Mm-hmm. So then it's, a shift in, what's happening in the market. So trying to find a different way to keep profits running. And then I'll just introduce a different bot that's doing well at that time. Mm-hmm. And now, after not doing night scalping for the last 6 or so months, I'm just recently, one of the devs found me for a different night scalping EA that I'm just testing out now, and that's doing super well. So, mm-hmm. The market has its waves of what works and what doesn't. It's just trying to find.
So you've always got to adapt to what's happening all the time, and then pivoting if you need a pivot, kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you know when the time is to pivot then let's say, so that's a difficult thing because you kind of blow an account before you realize, or you realize and you take it off and you pivot. So how do you know when to do that?
Yeah. So I don't really guesswork.
Yeah.
But I try and keep it to having one EA that kind of trades stop loss and take profit levels all day long. And one kind of night scalper or some sort of a scalper to get in and out of quick trades. And now that you've allowed gold, started to look more into some gold EAs and things like that to see if I can introduce that into my portfolio.
Indices as well.
Yeah. Try to stay away from indices at the moment. Yeah. I get a bit better at it.
Yeah, so I actually quite like them because they move very similar to crypto. They don't move like Forex in a way. I actually really like the way they move. So I'm playing around with the indices as well.
I did a couple of US 100 and 500 trades the other day when it moved quite fast.
Wow!
I saw that movement and I thought I'd try and do a little bit of a scalp there. Made a couple of hundred here or there, but I don't trust myself to let it run long enough.
Yeah. Interesting. Fantastic. What would you recommend for a person that is looking now to start with a prop firm? Maybe they've just got into trading, because you've got a live account that is your personal account and you trade for prop firms as well. So what would you think the advantage of using a prop firm, and what would be the tips for somebody that's looking to get funded at the moment?
I think the rules around prop firms are actually, a lot of people might think it's a hindrance. 1 to 10 leverage is not very much, but actually at the end of the day, it acts like a really good safety blanket. I prefer, using the prop firms because I have to be strict. Mm-hmm. I have to make sure that I don't overtrade or, start taking trades that are like 2% risk and then, I lose 2% in a single go. So I contrary to other prop firms like FTMO, mm-hmm. With the 5ers, you can take it slow, you can take it steady. I've got many losing months where I've not been profitable, but it's that consistency of having something that works where your profitable months will outweigh your negative ones. Mm-hmm. Whereas, FTMO encourages you to...
You're all in, you're all out. You get it or you don't.
10% in 30 days is not a realistic target for a long-term growth. Mm-hmm. Yes, you might do it for a couple of months. You might get good money out of it, but for long-term growth, it's super difficult.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been with 5ers for over a year and a half, just slowly chugging away. Not every month I withdraw. I might take, 4 months and then do a couple of grand withdrawal or something like that. Mm-hmm. So it's a better way to build.
We see a lot of our traders prefer methodical way of trading, a lot slower. The way they trade as well, not risking over too much. And that's the type of traders that we want. We want people that are pushing to grow in their trading and grow in their personal accounts as well. Obviously, not everybody just trades prop. They've got all their personal stuff going on as well. So that is definitely, and the other kind of firms really push. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say gambling, but it's a very fast pace, Yeah. But yeah, fantastic. Any kind of resources, recommendations you'll give to any good comic books maybe that you'd give to anybody to read up on?
Funny enough, when I was digging through the garage the other day, I found an old Colvin and Hobbes comic book in one of the boxes from when we moved quite a few years ago. So I've just been going through all the old Colvin and Hobbes comics.
Amazing. But when did you get into reading comics? Have you always been like a fan of comics and DC and things like that?
Yeah, I've always been a fan of the Marvel universe and things like that. Yeah. And now more so when all the movies and stuff came out, it's
crazy.
It's been a big boom in that. But,
fantastic. Well, look, we're very excited to have you grow with us, and I can't wait to see your growth up in the levels. And thank you for spending the time with me today.
No, you're more than welcome.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.